Today, we're going to explore 7 powerful habits that reshaped my life in just 7 days. Yes, just 1 week. I know that might sound unbelievable, but hear me out. These aren't your average lifestyle hacks. What I'm about to share are genuine, heartfelt, and effective changes that I personally added into my daily life. I went through the hard parts, the small wins, and the big aha moments. The transformation I experienced was genuinely life-changing. I'm excited to walk you through these because they've made such a meaningful difference in my own journey. And I truly believe they can do the same for you. Whether your goal is to be more productive, feel better mentally, or simply make a positive shift in your day-to-day, these habits can set you on the right path. So, go ahead and grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's dive into this together. I promise you'll want to stick around till the end. These aren't abstract theories. They're real doable steps you can take starting today. And I'll be sharing personal stories and honest reflections throughout, giving you a clear look at how each habit impacted me directly. Let's get started with the first one. Habit 1, rising early. The very first habit that brought massive change into my life was getting up earlier in the morning. To be honest, I never used to be someone who loved mornings. I was practically glued to my bed, and my snooze button saw more action than it should have. My mornings were usually a frantic mess, and I always felt like I was playing catch-up from the second I opened my eyes. But I chose to give early rising a fair shot, and I'm so glad I did. I began setting my alarm for 5 a.m., and wow, those first mornings were tough. I'd roll out of bed feeling sluggish and question whether this was worth it. But I stuck with it. And by day 3, I noticed something special. The quiet, peaceful early hours became something I looked forward to. There's something magical about being awake when the world is still asleep. No noise, no distractions, just calm. Suddenly, I had time for things I never used to get around to. I started with light exercise, not intense stuff, just a stretch or a quick jog. It helped me shake off sleep and feel ready for the day. I also began meditating and setting goals each morning. Those simple, quiet moments boosted my mindset and productivity more than I could have imagined. One unexpected bonus: I stopped feeling like I was always rushing. I had time to enjoy my breakfast, sip my coffee slowly, and thoughtfully plan my day. That calm, unhurried start changed the tone of my entire day. I felt more focused, less anxious, and more in control. A moment I'll never forget was watching the sunrise from my balcony one morning. As the sky turned gold and the world slowly lit up, I felt deeply thankful and at peace. That's when I truly understood the power of waking up early. Now, I get that not everyone's wired for mornings, but even waking up just 15 minutes earlier each day can be a game changer. It's not about squeezing more into your schedule. It's about starting the day on your terms, with intention and clarity. Habit 2, moving daily. The second game-changing habit was daily movement. To be upfront, I wasn't someone who loved working out. I had every excuse in the book. I'm tired, I'm busy, I'll start tomorrow. Sound familiar? But one day, I committed to moving my body every single day for just a week. And what happened amazed me. I started small, just 20 minutes a day. I mixed it up with yoga, jogging, and light strength training. I kept it interesting so I wouldn't get bored and quit. Those early days were rough. My muscles ached, and I felt wiped out. But I reminded myself why I was doing this, to feel better inside and out. By the fourth day, I started to feel a real shift. I woke up with more energy, my mood was noticeably better, and I felt more upbeat overall. I realized those 20 minutes weren't just about fitness. They were about making time for myself. They helped me shake off stress, breathe, and reconnect with my body. One crisp morning stand out. I went for a jog, and with every step, I felt this freeing sense of clarity. Just me, the open path, and my thoughts. It was empowering. I also noticed physical changes, better posture, more strength, and improved overall wellness. But the most important shift was mental. Working out became something I wanted to do, not a chore, but self-care. Trying yoga was another big win. At first, I wasn't sure I was flexible enough or if it'd count as a real workout. But after a few sessions, I was hooked. Yoga helped me slow down, breathe with intention, and truly listen to my body. It became a deeply healing practice. Daily movement reminded me that caring for your body directly lifts your mind and spirit. It doesn't have to be intense or perfect. Just find something you enjoy, whether it's dancing, hiking, or even walking, and build it into your routine. Start small and grow from there. It's so worth it. Habit 3, journaling. Next up, journaling. I used to think journaling was just for people with tons of time or deep thoughts. Honestly, I didn't think I had either. But giving journaling a real shot for just 1 week shifted everything for me. I kept it super simple. Each night before bed, I gave myself 10 minutes to write. I grabbed a plain notebook and a pen I liked. No apps, no pressure. Just me and my thoughts. The first night, I didn't know what to say, so I started with the basics. How my day went, what felt good, and what didn't. Over time, I started going deeper. I wrote about my goals, fears, dreams, even stuff I didn't realize I was holding on to. And that's when the shift happened. I started to see patterns in my thinking. I noticed which worries were out of my control and where I could take action. Journaling gave me clarity and helped me process emotions I didn't even know were weighing me down. One night, after a particularly stressful day at work, I wrote about what happened and how it made me feel. Putting it all on paper helped me feel less overwhelmed. I could think clearly and plan how to handle it better next time. I also used my journal to track wins, big or small. Like the time I was nervous about a presentation, I wrote down how I prepped for it, how it went, and what I learned. Flipping back through that later gave me so much motivation. Eventually, I added a gratitude section, 3 things each day that I was thankful for. That one change helped me shift my focus from what was missing to what was already amazing. One journal entry that really stuck with me was about a stranger who helped me with my groceries. Writing it down made me feel warm and grateful and inspired me to pay it forward. Through journaling, I got to know myself better. It became my safe space to reflect, process, and grow. If you've never tried it, I highly recommend starting. Don't overthink it. Just write whatever comes up. Your thoughts, your day, your dreams. You might be surprised by what you learn about yourself. Habit 4, mindful eating. Now, let's talk about mindful eating. Another habit that made a huge difference in my life. Like many people, I used to eat while multitasking, scrolling through my phone, working, or watching TV. I hardly noticed what or how much I was eating. Meals were rushed and mechanical. It wasn't until I tried mindful eating for a week that I realized how disconnected I had become from food. Mindful eating means being fully present during meals, tasting, smelling, and appreciating your food. So I made a point to slow down. I set my table, put away all devices, and gave myself space to focus only on my meal. At first, it felt weird to eat in silence, but soon it became something I looked forward to. I began each meal with a few calming breaths to center myself. Then I take my time eating, really noticing each flavor and texture. Even familiar foods tasted new. The crunch of veggies, the sweetness of fruit. It all felt enhanced. And I noticed something else. I felt full sooner. Eating slowly gave my body time to tell me it was satisfied, and I naturally started eating just the right amount. One moment I remember clearly was a bowl of oatmeal. Normally, I'd scarf it down, but that day, I took it slow, feeling the creaminess, the warmth, the honey drizzle. It became a moment of calm and gratitude that carried into the rest of my day. I also began noticing how different foods made me feel. Heavier meals left me sluggish. Lighter, fresher foods gave me energy. This awareness helped me make better choices without feeling like I was dieting. Mindful eating also helped me notice my emotional triggers. Sometimes I reached for snacks out of boredom or stress, not hunger. That pause helped me address what I really needed. Maybe rest or connection, not food. One evening, I craved something sweet after dinner. I paused, asked myself if I was really hungry, and realized I wasn't. So I brewed some herbal tea instead. That small act of awareness felt like a big win. Bringing mindfulness to the table changed my entire relationship with food. It improved my digestion, helped me feel more balanced, and made meals more joyful. If you're curious to try, start with just one meal a day. Put your phone away, breathe deeply, and truly savor every bite. You might be amazed at the difference it makes. It's a beautiful practice to reconnect with your body and genuinely value the nourishment food gives you. Habit 5. Reducing screen usage. Habit number 5 is cutting down on screen exposure. This one was especially difficult for me, and I imagine many of you might feel the same. We live in a world where technology is everywhere, and it's so easy to fall into the trap of endless scrolling on social media, binge-watching series, or constantly checking emails. But I began to notice that this constant screen engagement was draining me. My mental health was slipping, my ability to focus was dropping, and even my sleep was suffering. So I made a decision to set limits and see where it would take me. The first boundary I set was restricting my personal screen time, non-work related, to just 1 hour a day. That meant no more aimless Instagram scrolling, no long YouTube rabbit holes, and no staying up late with Netflix. In the beginning, it was a serious challenge. I was so used to filling every free moment with a screen that it almost felt uncomfortable to just sit with myself. But I reminded myself why I was doing this. And then something surprising happened. I found myself with so much extra time. It was eye-opening how many hours I had been giving away to screens without even realizing it. With that reclaimed time, I began rediscovering things I loved, hobbies I hadn't touched in years. I finally started reading that book that had been sitting on my shelf forever. I picked up a sketch pad and began doodling again. I even got inspired to experiment with new recipes in the kitchen. One night after dinner, instead of defaulting to TV, I decided to take a walk. The cool breeze, the sounds of nature, the act of moving my body, all of it felt incredibly refreshing. It was the opposite of the sluggishness I used to feel after hours in front of a screen. That evening stroll soon became a treasured part of my day, something I genuinely looked forward to. Another huge shift I noticed was how much better I slept. I used to take my phone to bed, scrolling through social feeds or watching videos until I got tired. But instead of making me sleepy, it often left me wired and restless, which meant I'd toss and turn for hours. Once I started putting the screens away before bedtime, I found it way easier to relax and drift off. I created a nighttime routine that didn't include any tech, just reading a physical book, practicing a bit of meditation, or simply sitting in quiet reflection. That change led to much deeper, more restful sleep. I woke up feeling genuinely refreshed and energized. The benefits didn't stop there. My mental well-being also improved. Without the endless stream of updates, comparisons, and digital noise, I felt lighter, calmer, and more grounded. I found myself more present during conversations. I paid closer attention to the people around me. I was more invested in the things I was doing, whether that was cooking, writing, or simply sitting and thinking. It felt like a mental fog had cleared and I could finally see and feel the world around me more clearly. One afternoon really stood out. I went to a small cafe with just a notebook and a pen. No phone, no laptop. I wrote freely, jotted down goals, and sketched a little. That quiet, focused time felt incredibly peaceful. I felt closer to myself than I had in a long while, all because I wasn't being pulled away by pings and notifications. Sure, there were times when I slipped up. I'd instinctively reach for my phone out of habit, but when that happened, I gently reminded myself of how much better I'd been feeling, and then redirected my attention to something more nourishing. Reducing screen time doesn't mean cutting off technology completely. It's about striking a healthier balance and being more thoughtful about how we use it. If you ever feel overwhelmed, scattered, or detached, I encourage you to try this. Start small. Cut down screen time by even just an hour a day. Use that extra time to connect with yourself, spend time with loved ones, or just enjoy being present in the moment. You might be surprised at how much more vibrant and meaningful life feels when you unplug a little and tune into what's happening right around you. All right, that brings us to the end of this journey through the 7 daily habits that changed my life in just a week. It's been a truly powerful experience, not only bringing these habits into my life, but also sharing them with you. Each one holds the potential to spark real and lasting change. And if these habits could make such a big difference for me, I wholeheartedly believe they can for you too. If any of the habits we covered resonated with you, I encourage you to give them a shot. Don't feel like you need to try everything at once. Start with just one. See how it fits into your life. Tweak it if needed, and let it grow from there. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about moving forward, making small intentional adjustments that, over time, lead to big, powerful transformations. I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know which habit you're thinking of trying or any questions you might have about getting started. Your stories, feedback, and presence here are what make this space so special and uplifting. And if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when new content drops. There's so much more coming, more tools, tips, and insights to help you build a better version of yourself. If someone you know could benefit from these habits, share the video with them. You never know how much of an impact it could have. Thank you so much for being here, and remember, little changes can create massive results. Let's keep growing, evolving, and turning our daily routines into something truly transformative. Catch you in the next one. And till then, stay amazing. Star.